Hey guys, I figured out how to add myself into the video, but I'm still on a 5 minute timer. I haven't figured out how to make the time longer. So I gotta get going with this. First off, great job doing the main causes assignment, militarism, alliances, imperialism, nationalism. You guys did great with that. That was the causes of the war. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about the war itself. Next week we'll talk Russian Revolution and the Treaty of Versailles. So you guys see here, I'll post the slideshow so you can read it thoroughly, but know your central powers, know your allied powers. Here, the Schleifen plan. Big idea here is Germany doesn't want to fight on two fronts. So they're going to go to the west first, knock out France, then they're going to focus on Russia because they have more people in Russia. But the plan doesn't go as they want. The plan's a failure, so they end up having to fight a war on two fronts, fighting the Russians, fighting the French. So Schleifen plan for the Germans fails, fighting on two fronts. This is going to be a war about trench warfare. You guys see there's machine guns, poison gas, tanks. It's going to kill more people. It's going to force people into those trenches. You guys can see the pictures here. All these soldiers wearing the gas mask. That's a new technology from World War One. Between the two trenches is the area known as no man's land. There you can see how destructive no man's land is. Here's another picture of life in the trench. You can see one, two, three, four, five, at least five people here, maybe more, hanging out in the trench. And the idea is they're going to stay in the trench. They're going to go up and across through no man's land and try to take the enemy's trench. It's going to be a very long, very slow process. It's a war of attrition, trying to wear the other side down. Uh, so the Russians, everybody's fighting everybody here on the Eastern Front. Again, they're running slow on supplies. Total war. The nations are going to devote all their resources to war. That's what you're seeing out of all these countries in World War One. Gallipoli is going to be an attempt of the Allies to go through the Mediterranean, through the Black Sea to resupply the Russians. It fails, and they get bogged down and have to do more fighting here. Not successful in resupplying the Russians. The Russians will eventually drop out of this war and have their own civil war. We'll talk about it next week. Two reasons to get the United States in the World War One. You guys might remember this from your U.S. history class. Is that unrestricted submarine warfare and the Zimmerman Note. Unrestricted sub warfare. Here's a video for you guys to watch. It's the sinking of the Lusitania. That ship was holding American soldiers, had American soldiers on it. Not soldiers, citizens, passengers. And the U.S. say, hey, you just sunk a ship with our citizens on it. The Germans like, we told you not to be there. We think it's carrying weapons to supply the British. It was. But it doesn't matter. That it sways public opinion. It's in the newspapers that, hey, the Germans have killed U.S. citizens. That's a black mark for them. And then the Germans, with the Zimmerman Note, try to get Mexico to attack the U.S. It never happens. But those two things, with Germany messing with the United States, is going to force the U.S. to enter the war and try and get involved and do our normal war fighting. So we enter into total war as well as a country. Women start taking men's jobs on the home front in offices, different shops, different factories. They build tanks, they pave streets. They also work on the front lines of the war as nurses. There's a picture of women in factories, women as nurses, auxiliary corps. Russia drops out of the war in 1917 or 1917 Lenin takes power. 1918 they sign a peace agreement with Germany. We're going to talk about Russia next week more. The war ends the 11th month, the 11th day, the 11th hour of 1918. Some other things that were new in the war you guys should look into. The German U-boats trying to isolate England there. That's new stuff. These two videos about World War One planes are some of my favorite things. Watch them. They're really great. Flamethrowers, grenade launchers, poison gas, machine guns, all new technologies. There's some videos here for you guys to watch. But yeah, huge devastation